Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Rundown on the Prodigy.
Magic Man.
And as you can see, everything's kind of changed around here. We got all of our mics and most of our equipment, so it's pretty exciting. And today we're going to do a rundown of the last weekend's fights, which was UFC 148.
This was Nashville, right?
Nashville, yep,
Nashville.
Fight Night 148, and it featured Stephen Thompson versus Anthony Pettis.
That was the main event,
yeah. That was the main event. So we went through the
main card.
Yeah, the four top fights, the co-main event, the main event, and then the two kind of like
Undercard main events.
Undercard premier fights. The first fight we did was won by Jussier Formiga. He fought Delson Formida.
Yeah, Formiga.
Something. It's a really hard name to read. It's pronounced a little different than it's actually.
We're not good at that kind of language.
Yeah, no, we're not good at names at all. I butcher people's names so bad. But yeah, that was a really good fight, and I actually picked Edson to win this fight. I
picked Jussier, right?
Yeah, you picked up Jussier just because.
What's up?
This is one of the two fights that I was so excited about. And
you got sold on the pre-shows, didn't you?
I did. And the UFC does that so well. They killed me. So I thought he was going to win. He was like 15-0 coming into the fight, and Jussier had his ups and downs. But again, he was a guy that I talked about that he only lost to top five guys. You know, when he lost to the guys, you know, he's only had 5 losses, and all 5 were the top 5 guys at the time. So that's like that was a.
He was right there the whole time.
Yeah, it was a determining factor. But again, I seen Delson and I seen some of the stuff that he had done, and he was just so exciting. But Jussier came out and got control. The first 2 minutes were super boring, but then Jussier actually got a double leg, and he just kept on top, landing some punches. And really, it looked
just
like
kind
Delson.
Of controlled from there?
Yeah, Delson looked like he didn't really know what to do or how to, you know, there was definitely some holes there that Formiga was
strong stand-up, but once he hit the ground, he was just lost.
Yeah, and his other fights, he looked like he was pretty good on the ground, but it looked like Jussier just had the answer for everything that night. And
he was 2 steps ahead the whole time.
Yeah, it came out, you know, the whole first round, and he ended up getting him out. Jussier did right at the end of the first round, and was raining some down, some punches and elbows, and then came out in the second round. Kind of the same thing, a little bit slow, and then Jussier hit a single leg, got a takedown. At some point, Delson tried to get back up, but just couldn't stay up. And again, Jussier got on top of him and just had that answer from everywhere he tried to go. He was just always right on top of him, keeping control. So Jussier did really well. First 2 rounds was up big time, and you know, as everybody can tell, you know, when you're down 2 rounds, that third round you gotta come out and you gotta go for it, you know.
Right.
Unfortunately, like Delson just didn't come out and go for it.
Couldn't get that motor to crank over.
No, and I think at this point, you know, being down 2 rounds and the way that he was kind of just getting smothered and kind of like,
he was already defeated, and
mentally and, you know, physically he was just falling apart. And he did have a good, you know, like last 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but it
the third round.
Yeah, the third round. Yeah, the last. But again, the Jussier just controlled the whole third round and got him down again. And it wasn't as exciting as the first 2 rounds, or as dominant. But again, it was more him now just kind of realizing that he'd won those first 2 rounds and kind of
he just kind of paced back a little bit.
Yeah, and knew, you know, don't make any mistakes, keep everything tight, don't get knocked out, you know, and he knew that the guy had to come out for a finish, and at some point he was going
don't get caught by that stupid punch.
Yeah, and so Jussier is probably definitely, if he's
because he was ranked. This is where he was ranked number 1, right?
Yep, he was ranked number 1.
So it sets up that him and
It'll be him and Henry Cejudo.
You know, now that TJ's out.
TJ's out and all that stuff. And I know I just read that Henry said that he will never fight
125 again?
He'll never fight
TJ
again if TJ did actually take steroids, or if it was, you know, it wasn't
what
just a supplement or something. But if he said that he actually gets caught for it, then he's going to.
You know, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but remember when I was saying that they were keeping one name confidential with the USADA?
Yeah, that had to be him.
It had to have been.
Because nobody else has came out since then. And it was weird with him, too, because this is kind of a little bit off topic, but it's 125, 135 division. He just fought 25 and lost. But he's one of those guys that, like, everybody was talking so much about, and then all of a sudden, just like out of the drop of a hat, he's like, I'm giving everybody my title back. I'm, you know, not doing this. And it was like, that's really weird for somebody who they were like, I'm gonna fight it, you know. But his reasoning too was that he didn't want to hold up the division with all the bullshit that he's gonna have to go through to try.
Yeah, and he realized this is gonna be a process because we've seen the John Jones. It's better to just
Yeah, and the interim title
Step
crap.
away
And,
from
there's no real title, and he knows that if he steps away from the title, it's probably gonna look better if they take the title from him. If it does come out that he can't fight it and win,
Yeah.
because he's probably gonna hire a bunch of lawyers and all that stuff and try to beat it, whether he's cheating realistically or he just had to take
Yeah.
the supplement.
And like what I was trying to push, I guess, is like he wasn't taking steroids.
No, yeah,
And there's such a list. Like whenever I see somebody was posting like, "Oh, he's a roid user," it's like, no, he wasn't using roids. He was cutting down to 25. There's so many other kinds of supplements that you could take, and
yeah, BPO stuff like
diabetic or not diabetics, diuretics or whatever it could have been.
Yeah, and again with a lot of that stuff too, maybe he was trying something new in his camp with trying to go down to 125. It's another extra 10 pounds he has to lose from normal. So maybe there's something that he was trying, some supplement he didn't realize had something in it, which totally could be fathomable and has happened before. Again, it happened to the Dirty Bird Tim Means.
Yeah.
He had tainted supplements, and again, it was just he was buying some.
Didn't something like that happen to Yoel too?
Yoel Romero?
Yeah.
No, that motherfucker's on steroids.
Okay.
No, they're all.
He eats all the horse meat?
Yeah, he's fucking jacked. Dude, him and Gordon Ryan are eating the same fucking supplements. They're hanging out together. Yeah, no, that guy. I think that guy's on steroids. So, I think though he tried to fight it and say that it was some supplements or something. But no, Tim Means actually did win this case, and I think it was only about a 6-month trial or stuff.
Yeah.
Because he sent him right away all the supplements. They found the supplement, flagged it right away, went into their own double blind study or whatever they do, where they
And they all failed.
Yeah, and they got it from 3 different organizations or something. All 3 of the ones they failed, including Tim Means, had the supplement he tested for. So he was unfortunate, but fortunate the way it kind of went. So again, TJ, and it's one of those things that.
Which just sucks because everybody wants to get as good as they can get within the means of everything, and then.
Yeah, and TJ was doing it, for a while. I mean, who knows if he was on steroids or doing the microdosing? There's so many different ways of getting through it. And John Jones got through a lot of it, with that shit and picograms and shit like that. So who knows if it's something that TJ had done in the past.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the rest of this unfolds. And
yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting case with him. The next fight, honestly, I just kind of want to skip over, and I'm sure these 2 guys want to do that as well. Because it was one of the boring.
See, I didn't get to see any of these. Couple of highlights, but
it was so boring. These guys, and they just stood there in front of each other. Someone kicked somebody in the leg, someone kicked somebody in the body. Medeski was definitely landing more strikes.
A 1-for-1 punch.
He would land one, and then the guy was standing there for 30 seconds. He landed. It was it was. I mean, obviously not that bad, but it was pretty bad. And all 3 rounds like that, and it was the second or third round. It was what the hell are these guys doing? Why are they? And I don't know if it kind of reminded me of that.
Both of them were just kind of sitting back too much.
Yeah, like that Nagano Derek Lewis fight. I don't know if they were just scared of each other or they just it was one of those things where they just both mentally got screwed or what it was, but it was yeah.
Because I feel like it was probably a big fight for both these guys because I mean, they don't have the best records.
No.
So it was a need to win to stay in the UFC probably, and they were just afraid to pull that trigger.
I know that guy Medeski fight. I can't think of his name. What the hell was his name?
John Medeski.
Yeah, John Medeski was the guy he fought. Starts with a P. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but he was 12-4 or something like that. But I think it was his first UFC fight. But again, it's one of those things that Medeski's had a lot of fights, so it was weird for him to kind of look like that. Starstruck, or you kind of get out in the lights and you get that UFC jitters, it was weird to see that he kind of had that as well as the guy that just had his very first fight in the UFC, so that was a little weird. Medeski was definitely the guy that I picked to win that fight. He did win by decision, but it wasn't anywhere near the fight
what it should have been.
To be. But the next fight is again Delson.
One that you got sold on?
Dude, if you talk the talk, I am gonna believe you and I'm gonna back you up. I will fall for it every time. I don't know why, but I'm gullible. And I had seen Blades had up and down, Curtis Blades had up and down fights, and he's definitely a very good wrestler, and he fucking proved it. I think he got the record.
Because I saw at the weigh-ins. What was this guy's name?
Willis, Justin Willis.
Justin Willis.
Something like that. Something Willis. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forget the name. We had it written down, but we just
I seen him talking shit at the weigh-in. Something like, your dad can't come save you.
Your daddy's not going to save you because his daddy was telling him he's going to get him or whatever. But his
dad was yelling in the back.
Yeah, which is always fun. And I love that shit. But again, it was one of those things that this guy, he's doing the right thing. He was doing the right thing, saying the right things at the right camp with the right people. And it just seemed like it was all kind of falling in place for him. And Curtis Blades wasn't having none of that shit. there's a meme too, and it's I think you've seen it when when you're messing around in class and the coach is coming. And
Yeah.
he's like looking up, like it literally looked like he was like asking the ref, like, "Are you gonna save me? Or you just let this guy keep beating me up? Like, what are we doing here?" And Curtis Blades definitely I think he's got the most. He said now that he is the best wrestler in heavyweight, and I definitely agree with him. He's the best wrestler in heavyweight division right now. Kane's out, obviously, with being hurt.
Well, Stipe's a D1 too, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think Stipe's going to wrestle he's more
Yeah,
of a
he
boxer,
doesn't do a
but-
lot of wrestling in the
Yeah.
UFC.
And
You're right.
To see a guy like Willis, who was a good wrestler, again, works with Kane, works with DC, get dominated like that every position, and honestly, Curtis Blades was throwing knees to his body and thighs. I felt so bad for that guy, dude. And it was just relentless. And that guy talked a lot of shit, and Curtis made him pay for it.
Yeah.
Curtis Blades put it on him.
Keep talking shit, though.
Yeah, and at the end too, he's proven I'm the best heavyweight wrestler there is, and I don't care if you say you think you're a better wrestler than me. Come in here and prove it. He definitely. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he has the record for takedowns in a fight.
Most takedowns,
Yep, in that fight, he won.
As a heavyweight or all divisions?
I think it's heavyweight.
Okay.
Yep. But I think GSP still has it. I think he's still, but it's pretty close probably. But for heavyweights, you don't get a lot of guys trying to get back up. And Will was trying to get back up, trying to do all the right things. But again, it was one of those fights like the Hoosier fight and Edson. He just always had an answer for him. Every time he tried something, he landed a good punch here and there. But again, it was just Blades all over him, putting the pressure on.
That step or two behind all the time.
Yeah, and so for Blades.
And we're back. Technical
All right,
difficulties.
technical difficulties. Darn it. First one. All right. Well, that happens every now and then. All right. So again, Curtis Blades, he's a guy that definitely rose his stock in this fight, and he's definitely got a title fight coming up.
Because he's still got to be within the top 4 or 5, huh?
He definitely was. Yeah. And I know the guys he's lost to. Was Alistair Overeem,
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis. Yep. And
Did he face
No. The two guys he lost to were he lost to Nagano. Both fights were Nagano. Yep. Isn't that right?
They had this shitty fight with Nagano.
Yeah, he had 2 fights. So he was his only 2 losses are to Nagano, who was again up there.
And then Lewis and Nagano had a shitty
No,
fight, right?
after that, yeah,
Okay,
that's
what
right.
it
That's
was.
what we're mixing up. No offense, but they're just a bunch of giant black guys that beat the hell out of each other. So it's hard to remember the names, and there's so many of them nowadays. These guys are coming up and they're brutal. And again, this guy just put it on Willis, man. I didn't.
You just disappointed the whole time?
I was like, get the
This
fuck
is not the
out.
way this is supposed
Hit
to
him,
go.
And I was like, Jay's winning way too many of these fights. This is bullshit. And this is the one that I wanted. So again, big ups to Curtis Blades. That's a huge jump up for him, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen for him because, if he comes out there and starts dominating everybody, he puts a clinic on DC like that. He's a big guy to trying to be. DC's a great wrestler, but 5, 6, 7 minutes into this big guy.
But honestly, I don't see DC taking a fight with this guy.
I don't think he would.
He just wants that one last big payday, and then he's gone. He's gonna
but
ride
then-
into the
Then
sunset.
again, that leaves Blades open for the title shot or whatever it is he's coming up. And again, he's only got 2 losses to Nagano. He had the first one was a fluke. The first one was a decision.
I don't think
the
it's
second
a
one
fluke
was
when that man
second
puts
one
hands
was
on you.
the second one was more of a fluke. He got caught right away, and I think Curtis is better than that, but. I think that Nagano kind of had his number, and it was in his head for sure. It's one of those things where you're like, he already beat me up. He hit so hard, he's worried about it. And
Yeah, you second guess every movement you make after that.
So the main event for this fight was awesome.
Did we both pick this one wrong?
No, I actually picked Pettis because remember I almost had the fight with Pettis, so I picked him just as the underdog, hoping that he, have a little
Would come
revival.
through.
I hope he retires. To be honest, I was hoping that before. I don't know if I said that in the last podcast, but I definitely hope he retires. Especially a big, huge win at 170 for him.
Right. And I heard he was kind of getting his butt kicked for the first round and a half until.
Literally, until it was 10 seconds into the fight, or 10 seconds left in the second round, and when the little clappers went off, he backed against the cage, threw a Superman punch, landed. 5 seconds left, he knocked him out.
Yeah.
But up until that point, he was just getting picked
Getting
apart.
the clinic.
Just his face was completely.
I saw a picture of him kneeling just with blood running down his face.
Yeah, he was getting tore up in his legs and his body, and it was one of those ones where you're like, this is why he shouldn't be in here with Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
Until anything can happen in a
over.
fight, it's like that showtime. So, and again, it was one of those things where he bounced off the cage, and he does. That's the second time he's knocked somebody out. Or well, I guess the first time he didn't knock him out, but he rocked him and got him down. But this time he actually knocked him out cold with that Superman off the cage, which is huge. And now every fucking buddy and their mom's gonna be trying that. You watch, you'll see it 20 UFC fights, the next 30 freaking like hometown shows. Everybody's been trying that.
So just stay in the center of the cage and stay away from the fucking wall.
Everybody's gonna be trying it. You know, yeah, we'll have people in our gym even trying it, and I know we have before.
I don't know if I've seen Josh try to pull it off a couple
I
times.
think, yeah, he tries it.
Get out of here with that
I didn't
stupid
want to say
shit.
a goddamn name, but yeah, that idiot's gonna be trying it. No, I'm just kidding, Josh. Just kidding.
Hey, it was his birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Josh.
birthday, Josh. Yeah, and again, Josh is the guy that is at our gym. He's 17 years old. Just joined.
He's 18 now.
He just turned 18.
He just
That's
turned
right.
18.
Again, his birthday. I said he turned 18. He
I
when
texted
he
him in the
joined-
morning. I was like, I can probably start beating the shit out of you now.
yeah, I can actually choke Josh. That's
Can't
crazy.
Call up that child abuse shit.
Yeah, that's what's up. Sorry, Josh's mom, if you're watching, but he's now in danger. What is Josh in? What is the brand?
National Guard.
National Guard. Okay, yeah. So he just joined National Guard. He's back. He went and did his first little boot camp thing.
Boot camp.
And
Basic.
so
Now he's going back
now
to
he's come back,
AIT.
and he's his last year of high school. But he's a guy that actually, and we'll kind of get into this later, but helped you a lot with your training camp.
Lot.
And you know, I mean, again, he's 17 years
Forgot
old.
to call Simba out, man.
Kid,
I got flustered on the fucking mic, and I was
Did
like,
you shout out the podcast on the mic?
I did.
I thought you did. I was
I
standing
did.
there. I was trying to ignore that Chris guy, and I was like, "Did he just say the podcast?" And I was like, "I should clap." I don't know. Did he say podcast? I couldn't hear it. And he's like, "Me and Ryan Stock," and I was like, "Is that me? That's me also." Yeah, that's awesome, dude. We appreciate that too. And you know, a bunch of people were talking about it at the fight too, and kind of. And they were telling us, and we'll kind of get into this later, is how we should just have our own podcast, separate from
Split
what
off
I
from
do.
this.
Yeah, and we should do it like this, do the same format, but we'll just do a little more comedic relief like we were talking about.
Yeah.
So that's something, again, if you guys are watching, that's something we're going to be, again, we're talking about it now online, or on air, but again, we're going to hopefully make another podcast, and then we'll just have two separate podcasts, two separate pages, stuff like that, but this one's actually blowing up pretty good, so I'm excited about this and where it's going, and this one, again, we can be a little more swearing and not care so much, you know.
Yeah.
We'll warn the parents not to let their kids see these ones as much. So we'll jump into fights real quick. The next fight coming up this
I'm
week is-
excited.
yeah, these are some really
So
good
excited.
fights. It's UFC, ESPN 2, so it's not on
Philadelphia.
ESPN Plus. Yeah, it's in Philadelphia, but it's not on ESPN.
So is this
Plus. It's
fight
on
night
actual
149?
I
Or is this
don't-
pay-per-view?
I think it's just it's not pay-per-view. It's just maybe it's 149, but it's
think
headlined
that's
by
what we're
Edson.
at.
I think it's just called UFC Fight Night, and then it's like Edson Barboza versus Gaethje.
Gotcha.
And so I think it's just one of those ones where they do the name of it. But
Okay.
yeah, I think it's in Philadelphia, and again, it's this Saturday.
Because I just seen some pictures with the hottie and the Rocky fucking.
Oh yeah,
Statue.
yeah, with the yeah.
I was like,
She's something else.
Dude, I love her.
And I've seen her kick so many girls directly in the face. Like,
Mhm.
it is awesome. And she does that sweet little axe kick. Yeah.
Because I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, she was on that Master Ken.
Oh, yeah. That's the
It
kid,
was
yeah.
hilarious, and I've been following her ever since. And she does
Oh, so
that.
you've seen her do her mom then?
Oh, Miss Yaya?
Yeah, where she does this. Yeah, that's her mom. That's like her pretending to be
Yeah.
her mom. So that is so funny, dude. I love that. Yeah.
She is so funny. And then, did you see the kid selling cookies to Dana White?
No. I
She's
didn't see
a
that.
Girl Scout or whatever. She
Oh,
just sold
okay.
1,000 boxes to Dana White because she sent him some video
What
and
the hell is he gonna do with 1,000 boxes? Dude,
give
that
them
guy's
to all the
so
UFC
fat.
fighters after they cut weight.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just have sugar rushes and everybody's gonna be dead the next day. We're gonna have one of the worst fucking UFC fight cards ever. so-
Don't buy UFC Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's gonna be horrible. Okay, yeah. So this card's headlined by Justin Gaethje, and he's taking on Edson Barboza. So we're gonna start off again with the karate hottie fight. Michelle Watterson, and she's taking on Carolina Kowalik. God damn it! It's a Polish name. Again,
And she's
gonna
coming
need
off a
more
lot of
reviews.
really good wins too.
Yeah, I think this girl actually just had her. I think her last fight was a loss, wasn't it? Or she started UFC and she's on a 2-fight win streak. That's right. So she lost once in the
I think
UFC.
she lost to Joanna.
Yep, Ioana, that's right. Her was her
And
last
then she's
fight.
coming off a couple wins after
Yep,
that.
2 wins off that. And Karate Hottie is, and this girl Karina, she's 5-3 in the UFC. So I mean, she came in the UFC at 7-0, 8-0, whatever it was, and she racked up 5 wins, lost 3 times, but again the last one.
Because I believe Karate's last one was against Felice Herrig.
Felice Herrig, yep, and she.
And right
one
before that was Paige Van Zandt?
I think it was a couple after that. She had a couple.
Okay,
after
because
Paige.
I remember that they fought recently.
Yep. And again, Michelle Watterson, she's 4-2 in UFC, but she's 16-6. She had a lot of fights on King of
And
the
then she had a
Cage
bunch
and
of
stuff like that.
karate because
Yeah, she grew up doing
hottie.
karate tournaments, and I'm not sure if it was point style karate, what exactly it is, but she does a lot of those, kicks, and she still embraces
uses
that
them.
very well. Yeah, like Stephen Thompson and again Anthony Pettis, they use a lot of that root in martial arts that they started with. And so this is a good fight. Carolina, is she's someone that is really tough, and she's trying to make her way back up.
So I believe she fought. Oh no,
somebody else. Too many girls. Too many girl fighters. There's too many fighters in general nowadays, man. Especially just when we're trying to do other cards, like the UFC is just pumping them out. They're not letting us do any other cards. Like there was a Bellator card we missed, and I didn't even know who fought on it. Nothing. I don't even know. Yeah. Yep, don't even know. Don't even ask. I have no fucking idea. So if this fight, I'm gonna pick. We're gonna just do our picks kind of.
Yeah, we're gonna pick Karate.
Yeah, Karate first. All right. Yeah.
I had to beat you to it. No, yeah. I'm just such a fan of
Yeah,
hers.
I'm gonna pick Karate Hattie too. Again, I watch her videos. I see. I've seen her.
But I do know this Carolina does have some power behind her punches because she's more of a Muay Thai style, right?
Yeah. Yep. She's won more of her fights by decisions than anything, but she definitely is very good at keeping that point fighting and getting in and out and not getting a lot of damage.
And I'm gonna say Michelle takes this to a decision.
I think so too. Yeah. I'll go decision for Michelle as well. Yeah. The next fight is one that I'm really looking forward to as well. I think this will actually be the sleeper fight, and if the Gaethje Barboza fight isn't fucking fireworks, this is going to be the one that's going to take fight of the night. It's Josh Emmett versus Michael Johnson. Josh Emmett is a guy that he's coming out of Team Alpha Male. He was 10-0 when he got in the UFC. I think he won 3 fights, or he won 1 fight, lost a fight, and then won 2 in a row. His last fight, he actually was knocked out though, and he took a year off after. Was it Ross Pearson?
Okay.
I think it was Ross Pearson. But it was, but he was knocked out, and then he took a year off, so this is his first fight coming back after a year. And Michael Johnson, if you know anything about the UFC, you know this guy. You've seen him fight everybody. He fought Gaethje, he fought Khabib, he's fought
Diaz.
Everybody. He's fought Diaz, he's been in there with basically everybody. I think he has 20 fights, or what does it say? I think it's 11-9. Yeah, so he's 20 fights in the UFC. His record's 19-13 overall. I'm a guy that's just been around. He's on the Ultimate Fighter, so he definitely has more fights than just even what his big record is. And so this is a good fight.
Do those count as pro fights in the UFC?
No, they count as exhibition fights.
Yeah,
so you can see them, but they'll have like a little asterisk next to them, just because I don't think they get paid or anything for the fights. Just they get paid to be on the show, like a stipend or whatever. But yeah, so this is a good fight again against a guy who's very, very well-rounded. Had a lot of fights in the UFC, and Michael Johnson, and then a guy that's up and coming, but again, he had a big step back a year ago, was 10-0, great camp.
You know, I like how he took time off, though, because I think you need that kind of...
Your brain needs that, for sure, and he's a smart guy that he knew that, I think he was, it's 3-2 in the UFC, and I think he knew that he's got to take a step back, take time, get his game back on point, let his brain heal, and then come back and revamp himself, because he did 10-0 and then 3-2. That's a big drop, especially for a guy coming from such a big gym. You have time to get better. You're not too old.
And you have those talented, smart guys around you.
That'll help you fix.
Wish they should be telling Cody Garbrandt that.
Yeah, but he's a fucking wild man. And this guy, he's another guy that comes out and he goes after it, man. And Michael Johnson takes a punch and he's not afraid to go at it either. So I think this is definitely the sleeper fight. And I definitely think fight of the night. So if I'm gonna pick anybody, I'm gonna pick Josh Emmett. I'm gonna pick Josh Emmett by second round knockout.
Okay. I guess I'll take Michael Johnson, but I'll take it to a decision.
Yes, because he beat me last time. I had to get this one out of the way.
I didn't want you to take my pick.
Yeah. So all right. So Michael Johnson. So how do you think a decision by Johnson?
Yep.
And I think he definitely, if he wins, he'll definitely be able to do that because it'll be about the wrestling and controlling and keeping that cage control.
Yeah.
Again, he's a veteran. He's worked a lot. He's been there with a lot of good guys who have a lot of different styles. So it's a very good matchup. And again, that's why this is my sleeper fight for the night. But don't watch it because the last couple times I said that, my guys got their asses kicked. So sorry to Josh Emmett, if you get your ass kicked, I'm not gonna call any more fights after this. This will be the last one. We're gonna get you a new co-host and
no, we'll just learn to bet against you.
Oh yeah. Just 100% bet against me, Fee. And if you win, then I get a little bit of that. So next fight is a fight that I didn't really. I know a little bit about David Branch. It's David Branch versus Jack Hermanson. And I think that's how he says it, Hermanson. But again, David Branch is somebody I know a lot about. He had a lot of success outside of the UFC. This is his second.
As in like Bellator, or
I want to say it was like Legacy Fighting.
Okay.
Those kind of smaller shows, but still, I know he has wins against like Vinny Megaleus and some good guys. And he fights at 185 and 205. So he was the 85 and 205 pound champion in the last promotion that he came in, or he was in before he came to the UFC. So he gave up his 85 and 205 title to come to the UFC, and now he's 1-1 since he's been in the UFC. And it's a guy that I was looking forward to seeing fight, and just unfortunately his last fight I think was a TKO loss. But he just hasn't had the results. He's I think he's 2-2 since he came back to the UFC. It was 2-2 his first stint. So I think this is really like his last ditch effort to go out there. And again, he's a guy that's really accomplished outside of the UFC, but just can't pull that
Hasn't
trigger in the
pulled
UFC.
together.
And it seems like the UFC is his kryptonite, unfortunately. And for a lot of guys, it is. And
Dude,
it
that
sucks.
stage has got to be crazy, man.
When you get to the end, especially to be a guy like him who's been so successful outside of the UFC, gets to the UFC,
It's
2-2,
frustrating.
gets cut, goes outside the UFC, kicks up everybody's ass,
Mhm.
doesn't lose until he gets back to the UFC, 2-2 again. Now he's right back in the same boat. It's like,
Right.
And he's an
You
older
need that
guy,
one now.
and now he really needs this. And Jack Hermanson is a guy that I really don't know much about. He's 18-4 overall, 5-2 in the UFC. Somebody that I'm kind of looking forward to see a little bit about. He's a tall guy, 6'1", 185. And so, definitely got a good record in the UFC. He's again, they got right around the same amount of fights. And
What was David Branch's total record?
I think it is.
Because I think it just said 4-4 one.
I don't remember it, but I want to say he's got around 30 fights or something like that. But he's won a lot of them. And again, I think his real big losses are in the UFC. Maybe he has 1 or 2 outside of the UFC. So I want to say he has at most 6 losses, but I think he's like 18-6 or something like that. So it's somewhere close to Jack Hermanson. But again, he's had a lot of success that we've known about, and at least that I've heard about, and people around the MMA community know about. So I'll let you go ahead and pick this for.
I really know nothing about these guys. I'll take the Hermanson dude.
All right, yeah, I'll take David Branch again. And again, I think this is a fight that it's win or lose. If David Branch loses, he's out. But so it's one of those ones he must win. For Hirschmanson, I don't really know much about him. So again, David Branch would be a good name to kind of step him back up there if he
Put him
get
in the
maybe
mix.
a top 15, top 10 fight. But these are both guys that I think unfortunately aren't
They're
gonna be
filling
around
this
for a
card.
long time. Yeah. And that's unfortunate to say, but yeah, they're just. And again, David he's older. Hirschman he hasn't made any standouts yet. So that 85 division's really tough, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of murderers over there. I just don't see him. Any of these two guys sticking with the top 10 or top 5. Especially those top 5 guys are just murderers. Gio Romero. We got all these. Fucking Whitaker. There's so many good guys up there.
Yeah, that right there makes me never want to be an 85er.
Yeah, those couple names, man. That is scary. That is a scary weight division. So main event is the one that we are both super jacked about.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I do think this is gonna be fireworks.
And I sure hope so, man, because these are two guys.
There's 30 knockouts between the two of them?
Yeah, 30 knockouts. Yeah, so it's Justin Gaethje's taking on Edson Barboza. Again, Justin Gaethje was 18-0 coming into the UFC. He's 19-2 now, so he's 2-2 in the UFC. Had some just wars in his whole entire career. A guy that just goes out there and he's either going to live on a shield or he's going to die on that shield, and he does not care either way. And again, Edson Barboza is the same way. He comes out and he comes to fight. I noticed that he has, I think he has 7 wins by decision, and 12 by knockout, and then a couple, submissions in between there. But so it's he either picks you apart for 3 rounds or he knocks you the hell out. Is usually how it goes.
Because he throws with that power, and he's got all them spinning kicks.
And those kicks and his leg kicks are brutal.
Yeah.
He's like the most famous one for that spinning wheel kick knockout to Terry Enum. That is one of the most, and that on every UFC highlight you see shows that kick. So it's a good fight.
Killed him?
Yeah, it looks like he killed the guy. He froze in the middle of the air. Yeah, that was a scary one. And again, Justin Gaethje,
As I say, I was just watching some of his highlights, and his
18
hands
knockouts.
are heavy.
And he runs in with his face forward, hands down, and just starts. It's like he's got bricks in his hand, so he doesn't care. He just swings at people, and he's dropped a lot of people. And a big thing that he hasn't done in the UFC that he did a lot in his previous fights is he did a lot of leg kicks. He reminded me a lot of Jose Aldo in the way that he would chop people down and use that to beat up the legs, and then just start smashing them in the face. And then once they start blocking their face, again, kick that leg. And then he was just beating them up. And he hasn't done a lot of that in the UFC, and I don't know why, but hopefully he can get back to that. But it's going to be really hard to leg kick battle with Edson Bar.
Right. I don't think you're winning that war.
That's a hard one. And that guy, and you see that guy, he kicks it. He's one of the fastest kicks of anybody of all time. Like you see how fast that guy. He turns his hip over so fast, and I couldn't imagine what it feels like to be at the end of that fucking kick. This is a tough one for me, to be honest. So I'll actually let you pick first, and then I'll tell you what I'm gonna go with.
I'm saying Barboza's gonna pick him apart.
Okay.
Slowly pick him apart. Because he can go upstairs, downstairs. I think he's got a little bit of decent wrestling, at least wrestling defense.
Good takedown defense. Yeah. Good sprawls. Yep. And he's really good at getting away and then making you pay for that missed shot.
Yeah, and he can hit you from every angle, make angles out of fucking.
Knee, kick, elbow. He's gonna do it all.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a slow 3-round. Maybe at the end of the 3rd round, finally finish him.
I don't know. I think these two just going at it, just killing each other.
Knockout in 30 seconds.
I want to say knockout in the 2nd round, but I'm not sure exactly who to pick right now. I'm gonna say Gaethje just because I think Gaethje is gonna come out and put the pressure on right away. And unfortunately, I think that he is so mentally tough that he's seen Barboza get broke by Khabib. And nothing against Barboza. You know, everybody who's gone against Khabib, the same as I think he's mentally broken. But again, I think Gaethje is so mentally tough, and he's one of those guys that's so ego-driven, and he believes he's so good that he thinks he can do the same exact thing that Edson is. So I think he's going to come out and do that. So I'm going to pick Gaethje by 2nd round knockout, and that way we're kind of...
He's that crazy? He thinks he's as good as Khabib?
I think he is. Again, he was 18-0, 18 KOs coming to the UFC. It's 17-0, something like that in the UFC. And I mean, he knocks people dead, man. And he beats on people, kicks their legs out, and then just drops them. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good fight. So check out again, it's UFC Fight Night on
this
ESPN.
is on ESPN too?
Yep, ESPN 2. Yep, and so it's actually...
finally watch?
Yeah, we can actually watch this one. I actually got to watch the last one. I figured out a way to steal some of the videos. They would post them lately since people hate the ESPN Plus thing.
Yeah.
They've been kind of pirating them out, so you get to see a little bit more of them and stuff. So I kind of figured out how to do that a little bit for this last card. So hopefully I'll actually be able to record this one.
Just kidding, that didn't happen.
Too. Everybody does it, man. Like literally, you can just go on Facebook and have anybody shares them. Like mostly, it's like ex-UFC fighters. Like they'll just share some shit. Like fuck the UFC. Yeah, like alright, dude, that's cool. So again, yeah, this will be a really good card. Some awesome fights. I'm looking forward to the Josh Emmett and Michael Johnson fight, as well as Gaethje taking on Barboza. That's just gonna be fireworks. Karate Hottie, don't sleep on that fight either. Those are 2 girls that are come out.
That's probably the one I'm the most excited for.
The Karate Hottie fight.
Yeah. Just because I've been following her for probably about 5 years now.
Yeah.
I've been watching her the whole way up, coming into this, and like. I know that she's really pushing to be the first female, or not first female, but the first
mother
UFC champion.
Yep. I know that's her thing too. And I seen a picture of her today. We follow her on Instagram, and she is jacked right now, dude. She's
the one in like the
like the UFC gear. Yeah, she is jacked right now, and she's talking about how it's the best training camp, best dieting she's had. Like she feels like the most strong.
Because I think she posted on that she was 123 this morning.
Yeah, 123. Yep. And she's fighting
115,
right? Yep. Yeah. So. These girls are going to come out and they're going to go at it. So that's a good fight to watch. Again, those 3 fights, David Branch fight again, it might be a stinker. These are 2 guys just basically trying to just stick in the mud and they're trying to dig themselves out. So hopefully they can, one of them has a big breakout. But again, these are 2 guys that I just don't see making it to that top 10, top 15 or sticking around for a while. Again, David Branch is old. He's done a lot. Just maybe take this win and retire, go home and take care of his kids. He's a good guy, and I'm sure he's looking, at the end of the road right now, especially being 4-4 in the UFC. Second stint, he's got to get this win and get out.
Right.
Just don't tarnish your
enjoy your time.
Exactly.
So you had a good time.
Yeah. And so now that we kind of did our rundown, what most people are waiting for and what we're going to publish is about a lot is this past weekend, actually, when the Pettis and Thompson fight was going on, we had something kind of going on. We were a little bit busy, so we didn't actually get to check out the fights live, but we actually had Jay Paulson's, right? Professional debut. Yeah, the Magic Man. And it was funny, the guy you fought, his nickname is Magic.
Right.
I didn't know that until we got in the cage.
Well, because I didn't figure it out when the Trash Talk guys,
Damien
this
Hill,
is going to be a thing of magic. And I was like,
I didn't know that. Yeah. So he gets in the cage and the coach was like, what the hell did it say? And I was like, I think that guy's nickname is Magic. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, they said his nickname's Magic. All right, we'll see. It's like, yeah.
I had a couple more tricks.
So leading up to that fight, I just want to kind of I'm gonna interview you a little bit here if you don't mind, and just pick your brain a little bit for everybody who's probably wondering. And I'm gonna try to do a lot of this with other fighters and stuff. So you're gonna be the first one. So hopefully this goes well. So what we're thinking is, when you were leading up to the fight, what was kind of going on? How was your weight cut? Who did you work out with the most? Like, and I know obviously Josh was one of those. You know, I just kind of want to let you give a shout out to some of the people that really were behind you and backed you. Some of the people that sponsored you before the fight.
Yep. Training camp went so good. Well, honestly, this training camp started in September or August, because you know how we were training for 3 fights that fell through last minute.
Yep.
So, I mean, basically, I've been in camp since probably the end of July, early August. I can't remember exactly when that first one was.
Yeah.
But this last camp was good. We worked a lot. Me and Josh were in here an hour before practice every day for the last 3-4 weeks. And then just rolling with everybody during BJJ class.
Yeah, I know that you and Josh have been putting lots and lots of time. When we got that new Muay Thai program that we're kind of going through, we got from the Cellar, and big ups. So
that was a big help too. Just the little
Chris
things.
Sitchion, they definitely have a very good program that they sent us, and that we're very technical. You know, it's definitely, you could definitely see it in your training and leading up to the fight. Those combinations and stuff are completely different than anything else we were doing.
Yeah, because usually before I'd throw 1-punch combos, 1-2s, and this whole camp I was working 10-punch combos, 12-punch combos. You know, just moving. Which I didn't get a lot of those off in the fight, but I felt like distance wasn't my friend in this fight.
No, yeah, you got a couple of them off, but a lot of it was clinch work. You know, you did a lot of that clinch work in this fight. So you rolled super hard. Obviously, you know, we were always rolling. Your body's holding up pretty fine right now. I know we've had some injuries. You know, we're all getting up there, and we've all had some fights.
We got some miles on us.
You know, so usually most training camps, you know, there's like a tweaked knee or a shoulder or your hand, your foot, whatever it is, you know, something. So yeah, this camp seemed like you were doing really well. You know, I know a while ago you pulled your groin, or so there's some stuff that you had to take.
And I had that knee tear or whatever it was at the tournament, and
yep. And
that's actually why he got the takedown in the second round.
That's why.
Because when he turned, my knee just kind of gave out and I fell over.
But you reversed him right away and got back on the top, so that worked well. So yeah, before the fight, you put in a hell of a lot of work, and again, every day we came in here with Josh, and you guys had your music on, you guys were kicking ass and doing a lot of rounds. And we came in and we did some
cage work
stuff, and some stuff, and
and
it ended up being a lot of the cage work, and kind of what you were kind of seeing as the game plan being, kind of went that way.
Because see, like initially, like I wanted to sit outside and box with them and like kind of like set myself up for a takedown off of that. But I caught a couple of those left hands, and I was like, oh, we're not sitting outside of this guy because he's got the reach too, you know?
Yep.
And he hit hard.
Yeah, he, there's that picture too where you're getting caught with just a perfect left hand. And and I know there was a couple times, at least there was one point for sure where I seen you got rocked, you got caught with like a left hand. I think it was right in the beginning of the second round. And he just kind of stood there and looked at you and didn't really know why you were coming at him, but I could tell you were kind of rocked. I work with you a lot, so I know what I was like, oh shit, Jay's got a little wobbly right here. And you kind of recovered again, and then that's when you came in with like your hand and like, bull rush this fucking kid. So a lot of the fight was, and you didn't really know a lot about. You just kind of stay before the fight. You didn't really know a lot about this guy before the fight, right?
No, because any video was over 4 years old.
Yeah, he hadn't fought for a long time, and a lot of his fights, I think he was on like a 6 or 7 fight losing streak or something. Yeah. But before that, he had won like 8 or 9 fights in a row. Yeah. And so it's like his career started really, really good. Then he had like a real big downfall.
A little fall off.
Took a long time off, so we didn't really know what to expect. It was going to be, a completely new guy. It was just some guy trying to come in and get money, whatever it was, But he didn't really look like he was in too good a shape. Nothing against him, but he didn't really look like.
I know that he was struggling to make weight, and I don't know if he ended up making it.
I'm not sure if he ended up making it. Yeah, I know that he didn't make it the first attempt, and so I don't know if he did the second time. Again, it's one of those things where you just said, "Fuck it, we're here to fight." We've had too many goddamn fights canceled. We put in so much time again since.
If we're within 20 pounds, I'm taking this bitch.
Yeah, we're coming here to fight. We're not, and if he shows up the day of the fight, you're gonna take it. And that's something that a lot of fighters commend to, and that's something that it sucks, but it's part of the sport. Not everybody's gonna make weight, and sometimes you're just gonna say fuck it. Let's throw it down. 3 pounds isn't really going to matter. My skills are so much better than this guy's. I don't think that 3 pounds should matter.
And like one thing that I really took away from this fight is like I think my fight IQ has grown because like there a couple years ago, even a year ago, when I got in that fight with Joe Shear.
Yep, Joe Shear. Yep.
And I got caught in that brawl, and I kept wanting to feed into it. And like this time, I was like, no, I can slow this down. I can run this fight at my pace.
Right. Yep. You definitely seen you maturing not only as a fighter but martial artist and as as a guy that's been in so many brawls, you were like, I don't need these fucking brawls anymore.
Yeah.
I
Like
can
if
slow
I
this
can
down.
control a brawl, yeah, great, let's go for it. But I'm not taking.
And there was definitely moments where you both were brawling, but the moments that you started feeling like you weren't getting the brawl or the best of it, you clinched up, held against
Yep.
the cage, and you made that effort to change up your game plan.
Change the pace.
And I know that we were trying to get you taken down a lot, but he was a really good takedown, and
He kept getting that underhook.
He seemed deceitfully strong.
Yeah,
It was
he
one of those
was.
things where he seemed really.
Because I was yanking on his legs, pulling him away from the cage, and
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I felt like we kind of maybe underestimated him kind of by seeing him, and then when you would take him down, I was like, damn, okay, his takedown defense is good. And then, like I told you, I sent you a message, our game plan wasn't working, and we're trying to take him down, and you just were like, nope, I know this is working, I'm gonna stick with this, and I'm winning.
Yeah.
And we went to that second round, and I know going into the third round, in between the second and third round, you were like, I'm winning those points, I'm racking points up.
Yeah.
And so then you already knew you were up 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And you were just gonna, you're gonna come out and be smart, coast through this round, and pick your shots. But it was a very, very entertaining fight, and he started like yelling some stuff in that corner, and I kind of got a little bit heated. And unfortunately, that's why I try to stick away from those places because I'm pretty ego-driven.
You about to walk across that cage and beat the shit out of him?
Yeah, I was screaming back at him, and I was just making fun of him just basically for not making weight, and one of those things where it's jiu-jitsu, it's more of a friendly thing, and there's not so much like mental warfare. It's like in fighting, one of my biggest things is mental warfare.
See,
I
like-
talked a lot of trash. I like to get in
Yeah.
a lot of people's faces. I like to talk shit at the weigh-ins. I like to wear pink shorts while I'm talking shit to you at the weigh-ins. It just throws people off. Like that was I love doing that, and so being back there again, I was just like, I felt like it was so natural just to keep yelling at him. And then I remember the corner lady was like, okay, enough of the trash talk. Like, you can't keep doing that. We're gonna have to kick you out of the corner. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, you guys.
See, and like I felt like that's when I realized, all right, I got him now. Because he's trying to talk shit, trying to get distracted. Like he's broken right now.
Yeah, he was trying to take you off your game and trying.
Yeah,
to
he was trying to fuck up my. And I was like, that's not gonna work.
No, not today. We worked.
I'm on too much of a mission right here, bud.
Yeah. And again, you were sticking your game plan, and again, we were trying to tell you different things. It's for some stuff off, and there's definitely some things that we can work on that maybe we could have worked and tried a little different, But
Yeah.
it's one of those things that
No, like I've watched it a couple times now, and I already see things like I've examined myself so much from these last 2 days, just like, because like I feel like I kind of need to change my workout process now, because I remember when I first started with Dane, he's like, you need to take time to learn all the skills, you need to figure out how to fight, and now I think I'm at that point where I know what I'm doing, I know how to fight to a point. I need to start working on the other aspects, like my power, my speed, my endurance, my muscle endurance. I got to start working on that stuff. Because I remember when I first came, I did a lot of weight room. I did a lot of extra stuff. And now I don't do as much of that anymore because I was just so focused on the skills,
Right. Yep.
For now, I think I need to start getting my body ready for the next step of it,
Definitely. Yep. And endurance is a big thing too, and being able to,
Because I remember that third round, I was holding his legs, trying to pour it up my wrist, and going, time, Brian.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was trying to yell time too, but when he started screaming, we lost the phone, and we started yelling back at him. So, yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was awesome to be back, man. It was great to see that you had won, and then, again, just to see the maturity of you as a fighter and as a person, and everybody says fighter, but I always think of us as martial artists because, we're fighters or, whatever, but at the end of the day, we're really martial artists and we work hard. We train kids, We do a lot of stuff that's
we're
giving
not
back to the
just
martial
people that
arts
show up
community.
a week of a fight and ready to fucking brawl anymore,
Yeah, and again, we have guys in and out of the gym too, and this happens, and it's been happening over the years since I haven't started fighting. That they show up and they have 2 weeks till their fight or a month till their fight. They're like, I want to fix it. I want to be good. And it's like, dude, you're 35 pounds overweight. You have a fight in 2 weeks. Like, what the hell are we gonna do for you? Like, I can't teach you anything.
We might be magic men, but we're not fucking.
Like that's not. Yeah, that's impossible. We can't do miracles. We do magic, not miracles.
This is all an illusion.
No, but again, it was so awesome, man. And it was a great fight, and you got to come out there and you got to get that ring time. And 15 minutes of a fight is a lot different than that 9 minutes of an amateur fight, a pro fight. And I feel like you took some good licks, and you gave a hell of a lot more than you.
Like that's one thing. Like I noticed too is like I took a couple of those really hard shots, but like I just kept going forward,
And it was nothing like any of the other fights where you take 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time.
I took one, and then it was like no.
And then you got a hold of him. Took a knee, then you got a hold of him. And again, it was one of those things where you could tell that you were trying to adjust to the knees and elbows and trying to figure out how that works and what
Yeah.
the right things to do. And now that you're kind of becoming a pro, we can kind of actually start working on fixing those holes. You know, as before we didn't really have to worry about so much. You know, we could let you lean forward and hold them against the cage without having to worry about knees and stuff. And now you got to really worry about getting.
Because I think the only one I really remember is I think we were somewhere in the middle of the cage and he caught me with the knee when we were in
back
the
against the
clinch.
cage. Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and big thing too was you got to worry about work on just breaking that clinch and figuring out how to keep control. And and again, it's one of those things that now that you're getting a pro, it's just there's different aspects, different rules.
Yeah.
There's more to do. But you held yourself well. You always do. You always go out there, and you could tell that you had changed your game up, and you weren't just straight brawling. You're actually throwing good kicks, throwing good knees, throwing good elbows. You caught him with a couple good clean
Dude,
elbows.
those elbows against the cage in that first and
It had to hurt
second
your
round.
own elbow, man.
Dude, the other day I had a big old bruise right along here, and
Yeah,
I was
gonna
like,
say you elbowed that dude a couple. And again, I mean, all credit
props
to
to him
Ash
because he was
Majok.
taking every single one of them.
And again, and I don't think anything disrespectful about him yelling at us or anything like that.
No,
but,
it was just in the moment.
And it was one of those things. Again, he was frustrated and trying to figure out what the hell can I do to throw him off his game. I bet if I talk shit, maybe and that was a last ditch effort. So I mean, I understand it. And at the night of, I was a little upset about it, but again, that's just my ego, and that was me.
It's in the heat of the moment, man. Like everything's running high at that time.
Exactly, and it was one of those things too.
Because I remember I was walking away from him pissed, but by the time I sat down, heard Danny, and it's like, all right, I'm good now.
Yeah, it's not really worth
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's just one of those things too. That as a fighter, I just like, that's why I try to stay away from these places. Because now I want to fight Ash, but it's like for no fucking reason. Like the guy's in the cage, proving himself, and now I want to beat him up because he started. It's like
Because it's stupid.
it's just one of those things. That I matured, and I'm realizing that I'm glad I'm not a fighter anymore because I'm just too crazy for that stuff. I'm glad I teach jiu-jitsu to kids and keeps me grounded and keeps me away from that. But it was awesome to be able to be there and support you and be in your corner. And
yeah, it was good to have you back in there, man.
yeah, it was awesome. I had to wrap your hands and shit. I had done that for years, and so it was great.
That's
to be
probably
back
one of
there.
your last corners too.
Yeah. And it's been
Noatana?
Otana. That was a long time ago. Yeah,
4 years.
one of the last ones. Yep, and then after my last fight, I stopped going because I kind of took that little bit of a mental jump to like I'm gonna take one more and I'm done. And I needed the one and done. Unless unfortunately I didn't win it, but whatever. But no, man, it was awesome. So again, who do you have to thank from the fight now that you're done with the fight? And everything's gone. You put
Let's
in all
just
the hard
start
work.
with you, Dan, and Josh. You three were like the main parts of my camp. Then you got like Dion and Travis and Charlie and everybody else that we roll
The
with.
gym, the
Those
Imperial
people
Training
that
Center here in
come in
Rochester,
every
Minnesota.
Saturday, every Friday night, They give me my fucking mat time and all that.
And we put in a lot of open mat for this, man. A lot of open mat time. And again, you and Josh, I mean, I couldn't tell you how many hours.
Ironworks
but
let me come down and train with them a couple times.
shout out to Ironworks, Austin Heathledge, John Fro, Ian up there. Those guys are all great guys. If you're in the it's Holman, but it's lacrosse Holman area. Check them out again. I was the last podcast I put. I couldn't remember if it was in lacrosse or Holman. But
Holman, yeah.
I checked it. It's actually in Holman. So
Yeah.
they got a great wrestling program there too. So if you have kids who are around Wisconsin area, take them there. They got a really good wrestling program at it's Ironworks.
Training
Training facility?
Center?
Training center, yeah.
Something
Ironworks, just type in Ironworks, you'll see
You'll
Austin
find it.
Heathledge, and yeah, it'll be awesome. Again, he's a guy we're going to get on here soon, and so we'll be able to pump that up and talk a little bit more about his podcast and all that stuff. So,
Then I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors.
Yep, definitely.
5-Star Automotive Detailing, Jeremy Casper, kind of I guess you'd say a competitor of Jason.
Or Justin.
Justin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, yeah.
That's okay though. We all get sponsors from other people.
He's one of the best ones in Rochester area, so give him a call. Can we put a link at the end of this one?
Yep, we can. Yeah, send me a link and I'll put it there. Yep, we'll make sure we put it there.
And then my property medics, Dylan Cardy, kind of the little thing that I plow and mow out of in the summer and wintertime, little side jobs. And then Toad's Tavern, Des Moines, Iowa, my uncle and cousin's bar. They've been sponsoring me since the beginning, man.
It's always cool to have family, back in
Yeah, and these are my best friends from high school, my family. Like they've had my back since the beginning, so it's really appreciative.
It's awesome.
They helped me get through this shit, make the dream possible.
Anybody else you gotta thank?
That's probably it.
That's it. If anybody else, we'll make sure to put them on and tag them in some of the stuff. Other than that, come check us out at Imperial Training Center. We're doing a lot of good things here. And again, Jay, myself, check us out on social media. Jay Paulson, Jay the Magic Man Paulson. Again, Wow Look at Me Now. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're gonna get a Snapchat and a Twitter is coming up. I just gotta figure out how the hell all that shit works. I'm not too tech savvy with all that, so a lot of that stuff's coming up. And again, thank you guys for checking out the podcast. And I'm the Prodigy.
Magic Man.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
But.